And for all of you, thank you for being here, for being such a great audience. I told you I always wanted to do the impossible, and now I am. But the impossible thing is not swallowing swords. For me, that's easy. I do that every day. I told you I always wanted to do something really remarkable with my life, and now I am. But the remarkable thing is not that I can swallow swords submerged 20 feet underwater in a tank of 88 sharks for Ripley's Believe It or Not in Myrtle Beach, or to swallow a sword heated 1,500 degrees red hot for Stan Lee's Superhumans, or to pull a car that weighed 3,900 pounds by swallowed sword attached to the sword for Ripley's Believe It or Not in Baltimore, Maryland, or to make it on the finals on America's Got Talent, or to win the 2007 Ig Nobel Prize in Medicine, or to just a few weeks ago break the Guinness World Record by swallowing 29 swords at one time. That's not the really remarkable thing at all. That just comes through practice, just through focusing on doing the impossible. The really remarkable thing, folks, is that God could take that scared, shy, skinny, wimpy kid who was afraid of heights and water and sharks and doctors and nurses and sharp objects. And now he's got me flying around the world at heights of 30,000 feet, swallowing sharp objects underwater in tanks of sharks, and speaking to doctors and nurses and audiences like you in 35 countries around the world. You see, I've always wanted to be a superhero and fly around the world doing superhuman feats and saving lives, and now I am, and in a way I never expected. But you know, there's still a small part of that little kid's big dream deep inside. And you know, I told you I always wanted to find my purpose and calling, and now I found it. And you know what? It's not in my strength in swallowing swords. It's in wielding my weakness, wallowing in my words. You see, my purpose and calling was for that scared, shy, skinny, wimpy kid to change the world by cutting through fear, one sword at a time, one word at a time, one knife at a time, one life at a time, to inspire others like you to do the impossible and be superheroes in your life. So if I've made you laugh, if I've made you think, if I've made you squirm, if I've made you think in new ways, if I've inspired you to imagine that the impossible just might be impossible in your life, then my job is done and yours is just beginning. Let me leave you with this. Never stop dreaming, never stop believing. Thank you for believing in me, and thank you for being part of my dream here tonight. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dan Meyer. I'm going to do one thing for a finale. And actually, well, we'll see what I can do, but I'm going to try something that I rarely do. If you saw the semifinals of America's Got Talent, quarterfinals in Las Vegas, I managed to do this for the very first time after 4 years of attempting it. And I'm going to attempt it right here tonight. What I'm going to do is try to swallow the curved shamshir sword from Persia. It's got a curved blade, so in order to swallow it, I actually have to lean my body like this. If I were to stand up, it would come out, the ribs would come out through my ribs. So I'm going to have to swallow it curved. And we're going to see if this works. We'll try this. We'll see what happens here. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the curved shamshir sword. Oh yeah! Woo! I did it. That baby hurt. You know what? I'm going to do one more. That was not quite right. I'm going to do something else for you that's a little bit more dangerous. Only 3 people in the world have ever done this that I know. 3, maybe 4. I'm going to try to swallow something because you guys have been such a great audience. What I've got here is a 1929 Model A car axle. I'm going to try to swallow this car axle for you. I can't let go of it. If I do, it'll go right through my body, but unless you hold that, I don't know if you got a bad hand. It's extremely heavy. How much do you think that weighs? 8 or 10 pounds? Pretty heavy? Let somebody over here on this side see it, just so you can see. Jonathan? Pretty heavy, isn't it? Not really? Okay. That's because you're such a strong man. For the skeptic over here, Julie, what do you think? Kind of heavy? All right. I'm going to speed this one up here. I'm going to try to swallow this. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, the impossible is not impossible. If I'm standing in front of you swallowing a car axle, it's not impossible. Yeah, do that. Woo! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dan Meyer. Would you like to see one more? Anything else? Oh my gosh, you guys are hard. You know what? I'm going to do one more thing. This is 10 times more dangerous than regular sword swallowing. Would you like to see that? All right. I'm going to have to ask you folks right over here, sir, and the kids, if you could pull back in this way. I'm going to ask world-famous gunslinger, rope slinger, rope trick roper, Luke Rollins, also was on America's Got Talent, I think last season. And if you haven't seen his show yet, come at 9 o'clock for one of the most spectacular shows you've ever seen. I'm going to ask Luke to do something kind of special tonight. I'm going to swallow this small little sword, the blue hilt. Luke, if you can take a look at that. Pull it out. Verify that it's real. Let folks see that it's real. And I'm going to swallow that sword. We are going to remove that sword, both of us. But neither one of us are going to touch it with our hands. Okay, wouldn't that be kind of incredible? So what we're going to do, I'm going to swallow that sword, and Luke is going to remove it using this. What does that look like to you? A whip. That's right. So I'm going to ask him to whip that sword from my throat from about 12 feet away. If you folks could back up there a little bit, I want to make sure it doesn't hit anybody in the eye. If it does, get it on YouTube, okay? No, actually don't, please. So what we're going to do is I'm going to swallow the sword. I'm going to slide it into this ring on the loop here, like this, or the loop, the ring, whatever. I'm going to swallow it. You folks are going to count backwards from 10 down to 1, and then we're going to ask Luke to whip it out. And when he does, you guys are going to erupt in spontaneous applause. I almost said combustion, but that wouldn't be cool. So, all right, Luke. First of all, what I need you to do is hold your arms straight up. Indiana Jones pose there. Give me your best Indiana Jones look. Hold it straight up and keep it taut. No, the other hand, yeah. Keep the whip taut, okay? Whatever you do, do not let it go slack, and don't snap it. Don't snap the whip, because if you snap it, it'll come flying out the back of my head, okay? So just pull it straight. Just when they count back down to 0, just whip it straight out of there, okay? You guys okay with that? You good? You think this would be incredible? All right. See if we can get him down the hatch.
Break the wall.
Let's wait till the car goes by here. Give it just a minute. Get my heart to slow down just a little bit.
Amen.
We're done.
You say God knows everything.
Don't stand on way. You can have the one extra since this is like
Yes, let it come.
Oh, geez.
It's the world record you want to watch.
He's up just a little bit
Right before you
narrower here.
right. You don't get to see the world.
Keep slipping in the middle.
It's gonna get serious acid reflux. These are real swords.
Yeah, they're real swords. They're 1 millimeter thick, 27 inches long by a 20-inch long blade. They meet Sword Swallowers Association requirements that have to be at least 15-inch long blades with 1 millimeter in width.
Is anybody a doctor?
Do we have any doctors in the house?
Nope. Military nurse. No one. No CPR.
There goes. Oh. 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 It's cold. It's like chicken.
What about mine?
This will be kind of a fun one here. What I've got here is about a 23-inch long sword with about a 19-inch long blade. And just to prove that sword swallowing is really real, I'm going to attempt to swallow this sword sin manos, no hands. Okay? I'm going to need your help on this one, all right?
Me?
Everybody.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here goes.
I have a question. Wait. Why does you have to lick it?
What do you think?
Lubricate.
One, 3 reasons. Lubricate, I feel for nicks and burrs on the side. If you get a snag, a burr, if somebody hits it on the side of the table, it can fish hook inside of you and you can't get it out, and we've had a few people die from that. So you feel for nicks and burrs with your tongue. Also, you warm it up to body temperature. These are still kind of cold from being out in the car, so your throat kind of constricts around it when it's too cold. And then also to lubricate it. All right. Here goes. No. I need your help on the counting. Count with me. Wow. If you know the words. Let's practice, shall we? Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's 2, but you got the idea.
Hands. 1.